UFC Tampa is the last fight card of 2024. We have a really good main event, and there's a lot of questions about which version of Colby Covington is going to show up. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks, and I'm going to give you my bets for UFC Tampa. Before we look forward at UFC Tampa, let's look at the wild success that was UFC 310. We gave you almost 6 units of net profit, a combined 37% ROI. I almost had a clean sweep. I only missed one single bet, and that was the point spread on Cody Durden. And frankly, even though he got dotted up in the second or the third, he won that first, and that was very close to hitting. So overall, a spectacular fight card last week. But it wasn't just last week that I've done really well. I've been crushing it lately, and part of that success has been coming from the safety parlay. The safety parlay is one single bet. I call it safe. The odds vary depending on the week, right? A safe bet this week might be different than a safe bet next week, but I have hit 8 of the last 9 safety parlays. In the most volatile sport to bet on, the safety parlay remains the beacon of stability. I have an 80% ROI over the last 9 events from one single bet. But if we zoom out and we look at the last 14 events, if we look at the last 14 events, and I said it twice to emphasize how long of a stretch that is, we're absolutely crushing it. Basically 14 units of net profit, a 25% ROI. I am up money 12 of the last 14 fight cards. That includes a down UFC Macau, a down UFC Paris, and then 12 other cards where we are up. The ROI number is the important one, 25% ROI. You don't need to be Goodwill Hunting to understand how insane that number is. This is a volatile betting sport. But somehow, Jakey Boy and I continue to deliver the absolute goods to premium members. You sign up right now, you'll unlock all the picks, the bets, the tools, and everything else for not only UFC Tampa, but UFC Vegas 101 after the jump. We're going to get you UFC 311 and UFC 312 bets as well. Just go to WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It's freaking $10. $10. The amount of money you waste on dumb shit, I'm looking at you. You're watching this sitting on your toilet right now. That toilet paper is 2-ply. You switch to 1-ply for a half a month, there's your $10. WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. Not just copy-paste bets, you're going to get tools. The Prop Hunter is one of those tools, a curated set of data specifically designed to help you find prop bets. And the line movement tracker is another one of those tools. It's going to give you the opening odds, the current odds, win probability, and the line movement for every fighter on every card so you can monitor. This card specifically, we just had a fighter flip to a dog, and I just bet on him. WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top. Let's talk about this card specifically. I'll give you the bets. Relax. There's chapters. Antsy little nerd. Let's talk in generalities, though. We're looking at some favorites and some dogs. Some notable favorites listed, not listed on here. Off the list. Joel Alvarez, not on this list. That freaking UFC newcomer, Namaho Sterling, that everybody is insisting is the second coming of Christ, also not on this list. Mostly because I do think he wins his fight, but dude, he's a minus 800 favorite, a UFC debut. He only has 5 professional fights. Like, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Remember Walter Walker? Remember that? Pump the brakes. Don't go spending a ton of money on a UFC debut with a handful of fights. Let's look at who I do think I'm pretty confident in. Miranda Maverick, minus 600. Not the greatest odds in the world, but this should be a very straightforward fight. She's fighting somebody who can't defend takedowns, doesn't have much of a ground game. Miranda Maverick is strong, comes forward, very tough, very durable, will drag this fight to the ground, likely a decision, and she gets it done. Sean Woodson, this is a controversial one. A lot of people loving Fernando Padilla this week, and I get it. Fernando Padilla is a bit of a dog, comes forward, makes fights ugly. And Sean Woodson is used to being insanely long in his fights, and he's fighting somebody that will be similar in length. I just think Sean Woodson has that striking advantage on the outside, and I think he can keep this fight on the outside. I think he's got the footwork, he's got the clean boxing, he's got the counter-striking. Fernanda coming in blind, just trying to close that gap to fight in the pocket, could work well for Sean Woodson. Vitor Petrino, listen, I think he's on a redemption tour right now. Dustin Jacoby was just knocked out pretty quickly, and while okay, that was one fight. He's typically pretty durable. He's only won 1 in his last 4. And yes, he got screwed a little bit. A couple of screwy decisions in that mix. Specifically, Khalil Roundtree. I thought he beat Khalil. But he did, the way he lost to Alonzo Menafield is very similar to how he could lose here. Dustin Jacoby can be the better striker for more amount of minutes. and Vitor Petrino can just land the big shots, have the big actions, get the big takedown, and steal this fight. So I do think Vitor Petrino wins. I think it's set up for him to win, and he just got caught in his last fight. And Manel Kape. Manel Kape's not the most exciting guy. Manel Kape's not even the most reliable guy, but I am very confident in him. He is fighting Bruno Silva, a bruiser of a man. Bruno Silva is going to come forward. He's going to bomb away. He's going to look to grapple, do all those things. But I just think Manel Kape's striking is too good, too clean. The footwork is too good. Now, if you've only seen Manel Kape's last fight, it was a staring contest. Nothing happened in that fight, just looking at each other the whole time. But that's because he was fighting a guy that has insane, nonstop, never-ending wrestling. And I think Manel Kape was just sort of frozen in the moment. I don't want to commit. He's going to take me down. If I commit, he's going to take me down. So he didn't really let his hands go, and he didn't do much. But this is a very different fight, and I think he does let his hands go. If we're looking at underdogs, Piera Rodriguez, the card opener, plus 195 underdog, basically a 2-to-1 dog. If you go to BetOpenly, you get even better odds. That's because they're not a sports book. It's peer-to-peer betting. So if you can get the plus 216 odds on BetOpenly for Piera Rodriguez, I think that's a great bet. I think she can come forward, grind this fight to the ground, and win. I haven't placed a bet on her yet because I'm waiting for a plus 3.5 just to win a single round and be a little more comfortable. But I think she's a phenomenal underdog here. She's certainly tough and grindy and gritty. And outside of that wild headbutt where she was just pissed off and DQ'd herself, she's looked very good. She looked good in that fight. And Ariane Carnelozzi is a freaking tank. So Piera Rodriguez could absolutely win this fight. And these odds are very wide. Ramon Taveras has been a favorite this whole week. Just today, he flipped to an underdog. Just today. I don't know how much longer he's going to stay as a dog because he should be the favorite. He's fighting Davey Grant, pretty well-rounded guy. A guy's had mixed success, but Davey Grant's not very good. Ramon Taveras is the better fighter. He's the more dangerous fighter. He's the more well-rounded, the more skilled. And when I say more well-rounded, I don't necessarily mean, maybe I shouldn't say more well-rounded because, frankly, Davey Grant is a well-rounded guy. Started his career as a grappler, became a bit of a striker. But he's not dangerous in any of those things. So Ramon Taveras might not be skill for skill more well-rounded, but he's more dangerous in each thing. He's the more dangerous grappler. He's the more dangerous striker. And I think Ramon Taveras could absolutely sneak this out. Then we have Adrian Yanez. This line continues to fly. It continues to widen day after day after day. People are absolutely loving that Daniel Marcos is undefeated. People think Daniel Marcos is going to dot him up and beat his ass. And I get it. Daniel Marcos is good. He is well-rounded. He is undefeated. But I think Adrian Yanez might be the best striker that Daniel Marcos has fought to date. Literally the best striker he's fought so far. Adrian Yanez has phenomenal boxing. It's lightning fast. It's super accurate, and there is some power in there. If we look at his last 2 losses, he got caught against Rob Font in a fight that he was beating the shit out of Rob Font. Rob Font's a good boxer. And then he got his legs absolutely blown out by Jonathan Martinez, and that just kind of happens. All of his losses are kind of like, okay, respectable losses. This would also be a respectable loss if it doesn't go his way, but I think he's a very live underdog, much more live than these odds will indicate. And then Cub Swanson. He's old. He's old as hell, but he's durable. He's a tried and true veteran. And his opponent's not much younger. I think Cub Swanson is absolutely a good underdog here. That's another fight where I'm looking for a plus 3.5. I think this goes to a decision. All he does need to do is win one single round for that bet to hit. It hasn't dropped yet. I don't know if they're going to drop it, but I do think Cub Swanson's a very live underdog here. You're going to say, why isn't Joel Alvarez? He's a lock. I just don't have him on here, not for a Joel reason. Joel is good. His striking looked incredible in his last fight. His grappling, we already know, is incredible. The only reason I don't have him here is because Drakkar Klose, his opponent, is also very good. I don't know why people are just sleeping on Drakkar like he sucks. Like, this isn't a guy where he's on a skid and can't find his footing. He's declining. No, he's looked good. Yeah, he got dropped in his last fight, but he's finding ways to win. He's a good wrestler. He's got good striking. It's not the craziest thing in the world if Drakkar Klose pulls out a win like he did in his last fight. Let's take a look at my actual bets. Nothing too crazy. I'm not overly exposed anywhere. What's funny is when I broke down this card, it seemed easy. When I was making the picks, it seemed like an easy card. And then when I'm looking at the website to place our bets, and my mouse is just hovering over the bets, and when it's time to click the button and put some real money, then it's like, So a little cautious this week for sure. Adrian Yanez, win inside the distance decision, no action. Only a half a unit there. Obviously, getting finished is always a possibility in the fighting game. But I think Adrian Yanez is the cleaner, faster striker. I don't see him getting finished by strikes here, and I don't see him getting finished by a submission. So I do think this likely goes to a decision if Adrian loses. If he wins, we know he's got the lightning fast power, and he could potentially make it happen. So what that bet means, I have 3 of those bets here. What that means is if that fighter wins inside the distance by knockout, submission, etc., the bet cashes. If they lose a decision, even if they win a decision, you get a full refund. The only way you lose that bet, meaning you don't get your money back and they keep your money, the only way you lose that bet is if that person gets finished. I don't think Adrian's going to get finished here. Then we have Cub Swanson and Billy Quarantillo. I have that fight goes to a decision at plus 100. That is a different bet than over 2.5. Over 2.5 was juiced. It was like minus 220. But to go to a decision is plus 100. There must be a mess up somewhere. The way the odds work, if you guys don't know, somebody sets the odds. A human being sets the odds. Then as money comes in, a computer does the rest. A computer moves these lines with the money, right? If a ton of money comes in, a computer's going to move the line. So that's how the betting odds work, right? That's how live odds work as well. There's not a person deciding. A human being sets the original odds, and then a computer adjusts from there based on money that comes in. Money that comes in is the only thing that is moving the odds. The only thing I could assume here why the over 2.5 rounds is a much different bet than the goes to a decision bet, odds-wise, is that nobody is placing this bet. So a human hasn't placed goes to a decision, therefore the line's not moving. People are placing over 2.5, so the line is moving. That's the only thing I can think of. If you think this fight goes to a decision, well, I got it at even money where the over 2.5, yeah, you buy yourself a half a round there, of course. But the likelihood of a finish in the last half of the third round is not worth the extra money. Plus 100. Then I got Joel Alvarez. So I do think he wins the fight, despite saying Drakkar Klose could make something happen. I do think he wins the fight. And I have paired that with Josefine, Knutsson, and Piera Rodriguez over 2.5. I do think the lady fights go to a decision. I've paired that with Joel Alvarez. It's a little bit juice, minus 200 through unit on that. Fernando Padilla win inside the distance decision, no action. I think Sean Woodson wins this fight, but I don't think Sean Woodson can finish Fernando Padilla. He's a durable guy. He's going to come forward. If Fernando Padilla wins, if he wins, it will be by finish. If he loses, it is likely a decision. Therefore, I get a refund on a loss, and I get paid out on a win. Ramon Taveras. I actually picked him to win this fight. Now he's a dog, which is incredible. But I do think he's the more dangerous of the two. Davey Grant's not dangerous. Outside of a couple of fights where he had some random power in his hands, he's not dangerous. Ramon Taveras is by far the more dangerous of the two. So same exact bet as the others. Win inside the distance, I get paid. Loses or wins a decision, I get a full refund. Then I have another premium bet, a moneyline bet here for you. And if you have been tailing the safety parlay, you've been wildly successful. I've got the safety parlay there for premium members as well. You can unlock not only all of my bets, the safety parlay, and all of Jacob's bets right now. It's freaking $10. WeWantPicks.com. Click to become a member. Jacob has almost 12 units of bets on the board. Here's a couple of free bets for you. The rest, you're going to have to support us through premium membership. It's freaking $10, cheap bastards. Go back a few slides. You'll see the success that we've had. It's insane. Not only is, here's a little rant. I'm sorry. Just fucking deal with it. It's a free video. Here's a little rant for you. Not only is premium membership wildly successful for premium members, it is so successful and at such a phenomenal price point, freaking $10, other people are literally retiring from this. Meaning our competitors, fellow cappers that are trying to sell services, literally are hanging it up. More than one internet famous capper has called it quits in 2024. And it's not specifically because of me and Jacob, but what is happening, it's very hard to sell your mediocre or shitty product at $100, at $20, at $50, when we're selling this incredible product at $10. It's just impossible to compete in that space. So they're not able to compete. We're burying them. We want picks, ride or die. Here's a couple of Jakey boys. Adrian Yanez is his underdog lock of the week. Listen, he did not get great odds on that fight. He got a plus 110. So you can get even better odds there. But he did get phenomenal odds on that Fernando Padilla bet. It's minus 190 now. He got it at plus 100. More of a reason to become a premium member. I had somebody email me yesterday. Hey, Angelo, if I become a premium member now, I only get a couple of events. Any way you could, first of all, it's $10, you cheap son of a bitch. It's $10, okay? You're not getting a discount because it's technically 2 events. Second of all, it's not 2 events. So yes, there's 2 events in that 30-day window that you'll have premium membership. You'll get UFC Tampa, UFC Vegas 101. That technically is 2 events. But it's not 2 events because we are putting bets on the board for UFC 311, UFC 312. We are also putting the tools out there. The data analyzer is fully built out, clean through 2025. So don't get this whole event bullshit stuck in your head. It doesn't matter. Premium membership is not event specific. Certainly on fight week, we're going to have far more bets for the next event, but there's always future bets on the board. The tools are future proof. WeWantPicks.com, click become a member. We opened this up by talking about some of the odds, some of my confident favorites, some solid underdogs. BetOpenly has the best odds in this space, and that is because they are not a sports book. They're not a casino. They're not a sports book. They are just a platform that allows humans to bet other humans. So they don't care who wins or loses. A casino, a sports book needs to beat you. You need to lose. Otherwise, they lose money. They go out of business. If everybody's winning, they go out of business. So they need you to lose. BetOpenly just wants volume. They take 1% of the winnings. So if you win $100, you'll get $99 in your account. They keep $1, and that's to keep the lights on. That's how they run the platform. That's how they make sure the dork that you bet in the comment section actually pays up. Check them out. WeWantPicks.com/BetOpenly or BetOpenly.com. And finally, if you want 50, we'll send you 50. WeWantPicks.com. Click become a member. And then after all that, just go to WeWantPicks.com/bets. In all seriousness, no, it's affiliate marketing. We've got affiliate deals with a couple different books. And if you use the link, if you sign up, they're going to pay me. And then I'm going to slice off some of that money and give it right back to you. You just have to use the link. Otherwise, there's no way to tie you to us, and then nobody gets paid. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Good luck this weekend, guys. It's the last fight card of the year, but there is no such thing as breaks. There will be no break here. You're going to get breakdowns from me every single freaking Sunday. You're going to log in the premium. You're going to see the picks and the bets and everything else for the future cards. Also, we have an app. Go to the App Store. iOS. We Want Picks. Download it. Good luck, guys.